Hi everyone, and welcome to Squirrel Pie Productions. My name is Tommi. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as DynamiteTrujillo. Welcome to episode 74 of my podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're a new viewer, welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, a big welcome back. Today is a really lovely, breezy, cloudy Thursday in May, where I'm coming to you from on the Northern California coast. I'm going to do a little bit of a disclaimer. There is some roof construction going on at my neighbor's house right over there, like right over there. And to me, it's very loud. They're doing a lot of hammering. And I considered postponing this, but I decided to do a test. So I did a little test video, just a few seconds long, recorded myself with the hammering in the background, played it back on my computer, and I could not hear it on that test video, so I hope you cannot hear it. I can hear it really loudly and it's like super distracting, but I don't think you can hear it. But if you can at any point in the video, I apologize. I know that can be super annoying, but I don't think you can. So I think we're okay. Anyway. We have a Ravelry group for this podcast that you should go check out and join if you haven't yet. It's where you'll find giveaway stuff, knit-along stuff, all kinds of fun stuff. There are 2 make-alongs happening right now, and one is the spring sweater cowl, where you can make a sweater sometime this spring, and the other is the Fiber Along 2019, and that is where you can make any craft that has to do, or that uses fiber in its fiber form. Top, roving, fleece, stuff like that. So if you're interested in taking part in those make-alongs, please do check out the Ravelry group and the hashtags on Instagram, which I will put down here. And thank you so much to everybody so far who has been participating. It has been so much fun seeing what you guys have been making. Your projects are just incredible. I'm so excited about all the sweaters you've been making, about all the spinning and the weaving you've been doing. It's so cool. I love it. Okay. Also going on right now is Me Made May, which is something that you can follow possibly among other places. I don't really know, but I follow it on Instagram, and it's hashtag Me Made May 2019. And it is where, it's like a challenge where in the month of May, you wear something handmade every day. I'm not one for challenges. But I do wear a lot of handmade stuff. So I've been putting up stuff on my Instagram stories feed every day that I am wearing something handmade, which is not every day. But I figured why not join in the fun when I can. And today I am wearing as much of a handmade outfit as I possibly can. I'm wearing a handmade dress. This is the Agnes top that I turned into a dress just by lengthening it. So it's pretty much just like a thigh length tunic. And it's made out of jersey cotton. It's a Tilly in the Buttons pattern. I really like it. I'm also wearing my sweater, which is the Like a Cloud cardigan, a pattern by Joji Locatelli. And I really like this outfit. I'm wearing hand knit socks too by one of the German sock yarn brands. It's not Regia. Opal? I think it's Opal. I'm not going to show you though, because they're way down there. And then the only thing that I'm wearing that is not handmade are my tights. I typically wear like stretch pants, not tights like nylons, but tights like stretch pants. I wear those kind of every day as pants or under dresses or skirts or whatever. And I have not yet made a pair of stretch pants. I would like to someday. I have a couple of patterns for stretch pants, but it's not something I've dived into yet. So, yay me! Almost all handmade today. Doing it. Okay. That's it for that stuff. Would you like to see my finished object? I have a finished object, but I forgot to get it. So I'm going to go get it and then I'll be right back. And here's my finished object. I made a baby hat for my baby. It is the Garter Ear Flap Hat by Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern that you can download on Ravelry. I made it out of Studio Donegal Soft Donegal, which is an Aran weight 100% wool tweed yarn. It's really pretty. It's this lavender color with tweed flecks of greens and pinks and reds. It's a really cool yarn, and I used the last of it. I've used this yarn for a couple different projects, and I finally used the last of it with this hat. So it's a really cute, really simple little hat. It's got ear flaps that are both kind of towards the back that are pretty perfectly positioned to cover her ears. And the pattern calls for a tassel, but I did not put the tassel on. I didn't want to. I knew she was going to play with it and she would probably just rip it out or something. Anyway, I didn't put it on, but it still looks super cute. And I did the baby size. There's like baby, toddler, kid, adult, something like that. And she's 9 months old. I knit the baby size, and it's already like, it fits her perfectly, slash maybe is a little on the small side. So, but it's good for now. I like it. She looks super cute in it, and half the time does not try to pull it off, so that's good. And that is my finished object. A super quick baby hat. In other baby knitting topic 3, I need to knit some baby socks. Lucy's got 2 pairs of socks, and they're like both store-bought socks. And so when she wears those 2 pairs of socks and they're in the wash, she has no more socks to wear. So I need to knit her some more socks. So that's next on the baby knitting agenda. But that was a super fun knit. I really like that pattern. I've knitted before for a friend's baby a long time ago. And it involves short rows, and other than that, it's a pretty straightforward little hat pattern. It's garter in the round, so you purl knit, which I don't mind at all. And it was really quick. I did it in Aran weight. Did not take much time at all. All right, on to my whips. That was my only finished object. I have a lot of whips though. I have a couple new cast-ons. I picked up an old project that I haven't worked on in a while. But my first thing I've been working on is living in my Uprooted Fibers bag. They're my Aquarian socks, and did I have one done last time? I can't remember, but I have one done. I didn't have one done last time because there's something I have got to show you that's pretty cool. I did a regular wedge toe. I haven't done that in a long time. I typically do a toe decrease that's more like hat decreases, and then I still Kitchener at the end for a blunt toe like this. But I don't know why I decided I wanted to go ahead and try a wedge toe for these, so I did, and I like it. I knit these socks in Moonstone Dyeworks yarn, which is my hand-dyed yarn company, in the Aquarian colorway on the BFL sock base, which is a fingering weight BFL nylon blend. And I did top down 64 stitches on a size 0 needle, and it's just stockinette with a heel flap and gusset and a wedge toe. And the second one I am almost done with. So I've done the heel, most of the foot. I'm going to be starting the toe pretty soon. Oh yeah, like maybe right now. We'll see. How I typically do my socks is the first one I try it on my foot as I go, and when I get to the point where I know I want to start my toe, which I know where that point is on my foot by experience, I start the toe once I get there. And then to make the second sock match, I count the rows between the heel and the toe, and I match it in rows or rounds on the second sock. I don't like to go by inches or the measurement because I feel like my measuring knitting fabric isn't always accurate because it can depend on so many things. How the needles are laying, how the fabric is laying, how it's stretched, how it was stretched 5 minutes ago. I feel like that can just be too variable, so I don't do that. I also don't like to count. I don't like to have a set number of rounds that I count from sock to sock, because I feel like not only does my gauge vary sometimes, but the yarn, lots of sock yarns are kind of different weights. There's thinner sock yarns, thicker sock yarns. And so I feel like the fabric for every one of my socks, I'm just gonna assume is like slightly different. So that's what I do. It's a system that I quite enjoy. I am using my Chiagu interchangeable mini twist needles, my very favorite sock needles. They're wonderful. Magic loop. That's how I do. And I am enjoying them. I love them, and I'm almost done with them, which is good because it means I can move on then to one of my next sock UFOs, because I've got like 4 sock UFOs, which are unfinished objects. So after these ones are done, I'm gonna move on to my cat sandwich fiber socks, which I abandoned last February. And I think I'm almost done with those too, so that's good. I really wanna move some of through some of my old sock UFOs, because I already have like 3 pairs of socks now that I want to cast on. But I don't want to until I get some of those old ones done. Because having UFOs is fine, but having like 5 sock UFOs is just a little much for me. Okay. Next project is a new cast on. It is super unexciting. It is a dishcloth. Yeah. So I am knitting the slant dishcloth pattern, which is a pattern by Knit Picks. Knit Picks quite a while ago came out with this like 52 weeks of dishcloth thing, where they put out 52 free dishcloth patterns. And I think they even came out with a second version of it. And so whenever I want to knit a dishcloth, which is almost never, I go there because I really like a lot of those patterns and they're free, and that's pretty much it. So I am using some worsted cotton yarn from my stash. It is Knit Picks Dishy, and it's in the Kenai colorway, Kenai. It's a teal. And knitting with cotton really is not my favorite, but I don't enjoy knitting dishcloths, but I use these for Lucy's washcloths in the bath, and I need more, so I'm doing it and I'm knitting more, even though I don't really like knitting these things. So this one is just garter, and you start in one corner, you do increases, and once you get to the widest point, you start doing decreases. It ends up being a square. It's very simple. And the pattern calls for you to use 2 different colors for each wedge, but the only other color I have in, pardon me, in this worsted weight cotton is this red, and I just don't want these in the same dishcloth. I feel like it would look a little circusy, and I'm not really into that. So I'm just gonna do it all in teal, and I'll probably do another one in red. And then, I don't know how many I'll make. I wanna make more than one, but we'll see how far I get. I also have, I'm doing this again, some of this cotton linen blend, which is Knit Picks Cotlin. And so I'll probably make some cloths out of that as well, if I can muster the gumption to keep going with dishcloths, because I don't really enjoy it. This is as far as I've gotten. I mean, it should go by super fast, right? It's like tiny, and it's cute. I want to do a seed stitch one next, because I think that texture is going to be really nice for actually scrub it. And I am knitting it on a size US 7 Licca interchangeable needle. That is it. That is my exciting dishcloth segment. Okay, what's next? I picked up a project that I haven't worked on in quite a while. It has been living in this super cute Sugar Tots bag, and it is my Flora cardie. This is a pattern by Carrie Bostic Hogue, and it was in the first issue of Making magazine. So this qualifies for Chevyrill from Chevyrill's Stuff podcast, her make-along, which is a book make-along where you make things from the books and the magazines instead of the digital files. So hooray for that. If you're making anything from a book, go check out her podcast and join in on her make-along. So I am using this yarn, which is Sincere Sheep Vernal in the Aegean colorway. And this is a lace weight yarn. It is 65% silk, 35% linen, and I really enjoy knitting with linen yarn. It's weird, I don't know why, I don't really enjoy knitting with cotton, but I do enjoy knitting with linen. I don't know, I like how it feels. I like the stiffness, the kind of crunchiness. I think it feels really good. And here's what I have so far. It's a little weird right now because of construction elements, but here it is. Now, this is kind of a cropped, or maybe not cropped, but it's on the shorter side. It's a cardigan. It's an open front cardigan, so there's no closures. And it has hardly any sleeves. It kind of is just a box with an opening in the front almost. And it's got some lace panels up the fronts. So this is one of the lace panels, and the other one looks the same. And so this will go up the front right here. And pretty much how it's constructed is bottom up. And then once you get to the point where you split for the arms, you split, you do some arm shaping, and then later I'll go in and do the back and then do the other front. And then I think you do some seaming, probably, I'm sure you do seaming at the shoulders. And it's super simple. It's a lot of stockinette and just a little bit of lace. I've been really enjoying it. I'm glad I picked it up again because I think I'm going to enjoy wearing this thing this summer. I've been more and more into actually doing it, and also just the idea of doing it, wearing these kind of lighter cropped knitted tops or even crocheted over tunics and dresses and things like that. I have one right now. I've got the Mount Pleasant tee. That's like my only kind of lightweight knitted tee that's like sleeveless, and well, it's, you know, short sleeves, and it's kind of cropped. And I've been really enjoying wearing that lately, and I've been thinking more and more about making other lightweight, smaller tops to go over things like that. So I am excited about this. I'm using, again, my Licka's US size 5, which is what the pattern calls for. I did a gauge swatch a million years ago. Got gauge according to the pattern. This is one of those yarns, of course, that every time I move it around, it has teeny, teeny little flyaways. And I believe that's from the silk. Just the fibers in this yarn. The staple length of the fibers in this yarn are very tiny. They're like teeny tiny. And I'm not sure. Maybe it's the linen. One of the fibers in this yarn has a very short staple length. But this is really simple. It's a really fun thing to work on. I'm using lace weight yarn, which I don't work with that often, but I really enjoy working with it, so I like it. And I'm really looking forward to it being done because I would like to wear it. And I think that'll happen soon because it's pretty quick and simple. I quite like Carrie Bostic Hoag's patterns. I've knit a couple, and I think they are good. Okay, moving on to my next work in progress. We have got another new cast on, Living in My Woodsy and Wild Halloween bag. I've got this pom-pom on it because I'm cool. So I cast on the Ripple Bralette, which is a pattern by Jessie May Mortensen. Jessie May Martinson. And I am using the same yarn called for in the pattern, which is pretty cool because it never happens and it was totally by accident. But this is Knox Yarn Co. on her Mars sock base, which is fingering weight merino nylon, and this is the beef. It's the Bifrost colorway. I think it's actually pronounced so Bifrost, right? I think it's pronounced like that, but every time I say that, I think of the Knitmore girls calling it beef roast, like beef roast, and that just turns me off. So I'm calling it Bifrost. Anyway, it is such a beautiful yarn. I love it so much. I've been coveting this skein of yarn in my stash for ever since I got it, which was I think 2 years ago. And here's her beautiful tag. I love Knox Yarn Co. Her stuff is just so pretty. So here's what I have so far. So pretty much this is a tiny little top. It is a bralette, and you cast on at the bottom at the, that would be the band, and you do 1x1 ribbing. And then I've switched to the 3x3 ribbing, which is the patterning all the way for the rest of the thing. And I really enjoy it so far. It's because it's super simple so far. It's just kind of like knitting a hat, and it's just ribbing. And well, 1x1 ribbing isn't the most fun thing to me in the world to knit. 3x3 ribbing is much less annoying for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm knitting it on a size US 3, which is a size smaller than what she calls for in the pattern. She says in the pattern that if you want to have a denser gauge, go down a needle size. And I figured I did because of a couple reasons. One is that I feel like I fall kind of in between sizes. It goes based on bust measurement, and the sizes are given to you saying like, for your actual bust measurement, this is your size. So there's a 28 to 30 size, and then there's a 32 to 34 size. My actual bust measurement is 32, so I definitely fall into that second size, but I'm on the small end of it, so I don't know, I just didn't want it to be too big, which it won't be too big because there's a lot of negative ease built into it, but I wanted it to have a good amount of stretch, you know what I mean? So I figure if I'm the smallest size of the second smallest size, and if I go down a needle size, then, does that make sense? I don't know, who knows? But anyway, I thought it would be good for my size to do the second smallest size and then go down a needle size. Now, I also thought it might be good to have a little bit of a tighter gauge on this fabric because this yarn is so light in color. This is a very me kind of yarn where it's very like pastel and kind of neon and almost like sherbety looking. I love it, but as like that kind of garment that's just going over right here, I feel like the lighter the color, the more risque it's gonna be. So I figured a tighter gauge might help with that. Now I don't know how I'm gonna wear this thing. I don't know why I'm knitting it, honestly. Like, am I gonna go out in just like a cute little bralette and like some high-waisted jeans and like maybe a cute sweater over it? No, I'm not. That's just like not gonna happen. But it was super cute, and I don't know, I got like sucked into looking at the hashtag on Instagram, which you should totally do, and it just looks so good on everybody. It's just such a cute pattern. And I figure even if I wear it like under things, I'm probably gonna wear a bra underneath it and not use it as a bra. That's my guess. I don't know. We'll see once I actually knit it. Who knows? Who knows if I'm actually gonna wear it? But I got sucked in, and I really wanted one, and now I'm making one. So That's the story of my ripple bralette. I really enjoy it so far. It's super simple. Yeah, it looks super duper teeny, but that's because, like I said, there's a lot of negative ease built into it. It is going to stretch when I put it on, a lot. I have already taken it off the needles, put it on waste yarn, and tried it on just at this point, and it fits. I can get it on fine over my head. Like I said, it stretches a whole lot, so we're good. I'm not too worried about it being too small. So I think it's super cute, and the nice thing about it too is that the size that I'm knitting isn't supposed to take that much yarn. So I know that I'm gonna have some left over, and I might even have enough left over for a pair of shorty socks or something. I don't know, we'll see. I think it's supposed to take less than half a skein of yarn for my size, and since I'm doing a tighter gauge, it'll probably take more than that. It surely will take more than that, but I bet I'll have like a half a skein left over. I don't know, we'll see. So that is my ripple bralette. It's a super cute pattern, and I'm excited about this one. And I think it also might be a quick knit. I say that, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, my next project is a little bit of a bummer. It is living in my other Woodsy and Wild bag, and it is my Virginia. Now, the Virginia, in addition to being a little tangled, is too small. And I'm gonna rip it out. It's a bummer, but it happens sometimes, you know? You just gotta deal with it, and so I am. But I finished the body, and I picked up for the sleeve, and the sleeve does look pretty tiny, and it is pretty tiny. It is too small. This is a pattern, by the way, by Gianna Haitala. It was published in Lane magazine. I think issue 6, possibly. I don't know. Could be wrong. But it's a really great positive ease pullover with drop shoulders and a wide neckline. And I loved it. I love it. I love the pattern. So I got to the bottom. I thought it looked kind of short. And I was like, you know, I knitted it to the specifications in the pattern, and it just looked really short to me. It felt like it was supposed to be longer. And I was like, well, you know, I haven't blocked it yet. It's superwash merino yarn, so it's probably gonna stretch. And even if it is too short, I can just add length later. It's not a big deal. So I went ahead and I picked up for the sleeves. The sleeve hole opening was so small that I had a really hard time picking up as many stitches as it told me to pick up. Like, there weren't enough stitches available to pick up all the stitches she wanted me to in the pattern. So I had to kind of finagle some of them in there to make them all fit. And I started knitting it, and I, you know, wanted to try it on, so I tried it on, and it was really tight. Like, so it's like this. So the armhole like comes down. It's like this sweater. The armhole comes down way down here. So even if this feels small, it's supposed to be the circumference of your arm, not necessarily this kind of size, measurement, whatever. But it felt really tight. And I was like, okay, let me just block it, because it's probably going to grow a little with blocking. That's probably what's happening here. So I blocked it. I took the whole thing as it is right now, and I soaked it with the cables in the water and the needles hanging out and my yarn still attached, just hanging out on the side. And I dried it, and it didn't really grow at all. And it was still very short, and it was still really tight in the arm. By the way, I don't think I mentioned, I am knitting this thing out of Moonstone Dyeworks yarn on the Merino DK base, which is 100% superwash merino in the tendril colorway. And anyway, it still was very tight in the arm, like uncomfortably tight, and it still was just really short. And it was also pretty tight. It was tighter than I expected it to be. So I was like, this is just all around too small. Like, what the heck? I'm knitting the 35 bust and I'm a 32 bust. And I was like, that should be fine, right? So I go looking at the pattern and it's not fine. I'm not knitting the right size. I'm knitting a size too small. That would explain why the thing is too small. I was like, oh no, why? So I just I wasn't careful enough in choosing a size. And that's totally on me. I do wish this pattern had a schematic. It does not have a schematic. It does have, it does list the measurements of certain aspects of the garment, like just in a little paragraph form. And when I read that, I realized that the arm circumference for the size that I made is exactly what I have here, and it's too small for me. Because I measured my arm and it was like 1/2 inch to 1 inch bigger than the size I was knitting. So that was a bummer. But I was like, I don't know. I'm just not that careful with stuff like that. And I typically am always just the smallest size. And so I always go for that. And when I saw that the smallest size was a 35, I thought that would be totally fine. But of course, I read deeper into the pattern now. And you're supposed to pick a size with, I think, 7 inches of positive ease. And the size it gives you isn't to fit a certain bust. This is the finished measurement size. So I was supposed to pick, based on my bust measurement, the like one that's closer to like a 39 rather than a 35. So I totally just knit the wrong size. I knit like almost the entire sweater the wrong size. So it's okay. It's a bummer, but I am gonna rip this entire thing out, which is a bummer because I alternated skeins. And so that's probably gonna be a huge pain. I don't know, I've never had to rip out something where I alternated skeins before. But I'm just gonna rip it all out, and hopefully, when I'm done with that, I have the drive to recast on the same sweater and reknit it right now, because I really want that sweater. It did cross my mind, why don't I just knit a different sweater? Because I've already pretty much knit this sweater, and do I really want to knit it again, or can I knit another one that I really want? But I really want this one, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? You gotta pay more attention, Tommi. But I do really like it. I love how the yarn came out. It's a reverse stockinette sweater, so when I wear it, it's gonna be more like that. And I really want the thing. And I thought about different things I could do too. Like, I thought about, could I just obviously add more length at the bottom and either cut a little bit of stitches down here to make the armhole wider, or I could unpick the shoulder seams and knit higher up and make the armhole bigger that way. There are things that I could do to make this work for the arm and the length that I want, but there's nothing I can do for the width. It's really pretty form-fitting how it is right now, and I didn't want that. I really wanted a positive ease, really comfy sweater that wasn't skin tight. This one's pretty skin tight. So, and I did get gauge. I did a gauge swatch and I did get exact gauge. So I just need to reknit the thing in a bigger size because I want a bigger sweater. Which is fine. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. It got me thinking a little bit though, and this is something I've thought about before, about how sizes are listed in patterns. And it's just something that's interesting and something that we have to pay attention to, because some patterns, I'm talking sweater patterns, the sizes are listed by, it's not like small, medium, large. It's by bust size or by bust measurement. Now, some patterns, for instance, the ripple bralette, but a lot of other just sweater patterns do this. They'll give you the measurement to fit a certain bust size. And whether there's positive or negative ease, it'll tell you that. But the size, like I would be knitting a 32. And then somewhere else they would say like actual measurement of the thing is going to be like 39 or whatever. Some of them, like this pattern, give you as the size the actual garment finished measurement, and it tells you knit a size that's going to give you this much ease according to your bust size, your bust measurement. Which is just interesting that there's, I mean, you know, like there's no standards for a lot of things because people, pattern designers have their own style, so they're going to all write it how they want, right? But it's always been kind of interesting to me that both of those are used in sweater designs. So you have to pay attention to that. Something else that's interesting too that I kind of been thinking about recently because I've been wanting to do positive ease things is that you can find a sweater that you want to make and say you want it to be an oversized sweater. You pick a bigger size than yours and you knit it and say this is going to be an oversized sweater. Well, to me, like they're always going based off the bust measurement. So if you pick a bigger size, the whole thing's going to be bigger, not just the ease. And to me, what makes something fit is the shoulders. So I don't know. That's just something I have to remember to pay attention to in like a schematic, if it has one, is the shoulder measurement. But then you don't really have access to the schematic until you buy the pattern. So, and plus, I mean, I don't know, sizing by bust has always just been a little weird to me because I feel like different sized people can have different sizes of bust without that affecting the rest of their body, right? Like a small person, a petite person can have really big boobs. Or a larger person can have smaller boobs. And maybe two different sized people have the same bust measurement, but they're two different sizes. I don't know, just stuff I've been thinking about. Anyway, that is my Virginia. She is getting ripped out and she is going to be reknit. Hopefully in the near future, because I really do want that sweater. I really do. Okay. That is everything that I've been working on in terms of my knitting. I did do a little bit of spinning these past few days, and I am working on some of this fiber. This is Rambouillet by Spun Right Round in the Flock Together colorway. My daughter Lucy got a hold of this tag and ripped it to pieces. She's really into paper right now, so that's what happened to that. And I split the braid up into 3 sections, and I'm going to do a traditional 3-ply. So I got the first bobbin done, and I'm going for a 3-ply sock yarn. And now it probably won't be sock weight. It'll probably be more like a sport, maybe even heavier. I'm not sure. I'm not really that precise with that kind of stuff. I'm spinning it as thin as is comfortable for me, and then we'll see how it turns out. But I've been enjoying this. I'm doing that for the Fiber Along 2019. And that's it. Okay. On to favorites. I received a swap package. I took part in the Solidarity Swap, and my swap partner got me the coolest skein yarn and made me a project bag. My swap partner was Nora. Hi Nora, thank you so much for my package. I really, really, really love it. So this is the project bag she made me. It is so great. I love it. It's perfect for socks. I'm so impressed that she made me a project bag. And the yarn that she got me is fully spun, which, it's so great. I love it. It's fingering weight. The colorway is Brunch, and it's 75/20 superwash merino and nylon, 100 grams. Now, Fully Spun is an independent yarn company, and what she does is she dyes fiber and then sends that dyed fiber off to the mill, who spins it up into yarn. And so you get this wonderful barber pole effect, very similar to spin cycle yarns. So if you're looking for an alternative to spin cycle who has the same sort of technique process, fully spun is a really good alternative, and oh, it's so beautiful. I want to make socks out of this. I want to cast this on for socks like right now, but I'm making myself wait. So I'm super stoked about this. I love it. Thank you so much. I love it. Okay. That's pretty much it for all of the crafty stuff. One more thing in favorites, I have been watching something that I've been really enjoying on YouTube, and it's a Crash Course series. So Crash Course is a YouTube channel that has different series of educational videos. So they'll do a whole series on a certain topic. They'll have an expert come in and do a whole bunch of videos on that topic. And it's really good. I really love Crash Course. I only discovered it not too long ago at all. And it's a company started in part by the Vlogbrothers, who I'm kind of just like in a Vlogbrothers like rabbit hole right now, because I'm also reading like all their books right now, which I will save for another episode. I don't need to do another book episode right now, but I've read like 4 more books and it's all theirs. Anyway, so Crash Course has like a ton of different subject matters that they approach, and the production value of these videos is really great, and I just really, really like them. And they're meant to be like a really good, really fun educational resource that is offered for free. So I have been watching the astronomy series on Crash Course, and it's so good. There's like 50 videos or something, and they're all somewhere around 11, 12 minutes long, I think. And I'm on like I think I'm on the 21st one right now or something like that. But each one is pretty much topical. There's an episode on each planet. There's an episode on the sun, the moon. There's an episode on asteroids, on meteors, on stars, on light. You know, just it's very topical, and I'm learning so much about space right now, which is so exciting to me that I'm kind of obsessed with it. That's like all I've been watching lately. So I don't know. I was really excited when I found out about Crash Course. I think it's really great, and I encourage you to check it out if you're into that kind of thing. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of different subjects. I mean, they have kind of all the basic like school subjects, like different kinds of histories and, you know, chemistry and physics and stuff like that. But they also, like the one currently coming out right now is a business one. And I don't know, there's just like a ton of different things, and they're fun. I really, really like them. So, and that is what prompted me. If you saw in my Instagram stories, I discovered that I'm going to be 77 when Halley's Comet comes around again, or Halley's Comet, whatever it is. And that was a little bit of a weird revelation to me, that I missed it last time in 1986 because I was 3 years old, and next time it comes around I'll be 77, so hopefully I can see it. I don't know, we'll see where I'm at in 2061. But anyway, that's what prompted me to look that up, is because I watched an episode about comets, and they are pretty freaking cool. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you guys there. And thank you so much for watching this week. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet, to be kept up to date on future videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you're having an awesome May. It's halfway through the year, super crazy, but I hope you're having fun. I hope you are making wonderful things and having a good time doing it. And I'll see you guys next time. Have fun and stay awesome. Bye.